You are now looking at the country with the strangest shape in the world. It is neither wide nor square nor symmetrical. Instead, it is long and narrow. That country is Chile. Why does Chile have such an elongated shape? What challenges has this shape brought it? And how has Chile managed to survive under such difficult geographic conditions? Chile's shape was not always this peculiar. Its formation is the result of both geography and history. Several hundred years ago, the country of Chile did not exist here. This narrow stretch of land was home to multiple indigenous groups. In the north lived the Atacama people and the Aymaras, while in the south were the fiercely warrior-like Mapuche people. In the 15th century, the Spanish Empire arrived in search of gold. However, unlike Mexico and Peru, this region lacked a mature civilization. There were only rugged mountains, arid deserts, and the Mapuche, a tribe that refused to submit easily. As a result, the Spanish conquest was exceptionally difficult. It was not until 1818 that Chile gained independence from the Spanish Empire. At that time, however, Chile was a small country, with its territory covering only the area from present-day Santiago to Valparaiso. Its true expansion began in the 19th century. When Chile attempted to expand northward, it faced joint resistance from Peru and Bolivia during the War of the Pacific. After the war ended, Chile seized a vast amount of territory, while Bolivia lost all its coastline and became a landlocked nation. This victory was tremendously significant for Chile. It not only gained abundant natural resources, but also pushed its northern border forward by 500 kilometers, making the country even longer and thinner. To the south, Chile sites on the Patagonia region, which Argentina also coveted. The two countries nearly went to war on several occasions. Eventually, in 1901, they signed a boundary treaty, granting Chile control over southern Patagonia and the Magallanes province. By the early 20th century, Chile had fully become an elongated country stretching from north to south. From north to south, it measures 4,200 kilometers, equivalent to the distance from the east coast to the west coast of the United States. It is truly the world's longest and narrowest nation. Long as it is, however, Chile's troubles stem from this very shape. The real problem is not just its length, but the fact that it is tightly hemmed in by two major geographical barriers. To the west lies the Pacific Ocean, and to the east, the Andes Mountains. The Pacific gives Chile an extensive coastline but also blocks any possibility of westward expansion. The Andes on the eastern side stand like an immense wall. Many peaks rise over 6.9 meters high and are nearly impassable. This confines Chile's territory to a narrow corridor, with its narrowest point only 100 kilometers wide. Such geographical conditions have posed enormous challenges to Chile's survival. Transportation is a critical issue. Roads must be painstakingly carved through mountain crevices, and building railways is even more daunting. Cities can only extend along the north-south axis. Lateral expansion is practically impossible. For example, in southern regions like Aysén and Magallanes, it is impossible to drive directly. To get there, one must rely on ships, airplanes, or detour through Argentina and then re-enter Chile. Even today, many Chileans traveling to the southern part of their own country must first pass through Argentina. In the event of earthquakes, floods, or other disasters, rescue teams struggle to reach affected areas quickly. Even ordinary fires or accidents often face delays because transport routes are blocked. In addition, northern Chile is home to the Atacama Desert, the driest place on Earth. Some areas have not seen a drop of rain for decades, and only those who mine copper and lithium live there. The south, by contrast, is cold and rainy, covered with glaciers and permafrost, making road construction nearly impossible. No discussion of Chile is complete without mentioning earthquakes. Chile lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most geologically active regions on Earth, with thousands of earthquakes occurring every year. In Yucumen, the Concepcion region experienced a massive 8.7 magnitude earthquake. It killed hundreds of people and nearly destroyed the entire city's infrastructure. Yet even more terrifying than the earthquake itself was the difficulty of mounting rescue operations. Hospitals in Santiago trying to send ambulances to the disaster zone had to cross treacherous mountain ranges, and supply deliveries were halted by broken roads. Even without disasters, connecting the north and south is a daily challenge for Chile. Flying from the north to the south takes 5 hours. Many people who choose to drive simply take a detour through Argentina because domestic roads are either unpaved or in extremely poor condition. Chile's elongated shape also profoundly affects its economy. Most Chileans live in the central region, with the capital, Santiago, and its surroundings alone accounting for 40% of the national population. This concentration leads to severe resource imbalance. The best hospitals, universities, roads, airports, and job opportunities are all concentrated around Santiago, while northern cities like Arica and southern regions like Patagonia lack jobs, investment, and modern infrastructure. Chile's economy relies heavily on exports, which count for 30% of its GDP. It is one of the world's largest producers of copper and lithium and ranks among the top globally for salmon and fruit exports. However, these goods must travel enormous distances from production sites to ports. Copper from the north must be shipped south, while fruit from the south must be transported north. Transport alone takes days. And even though Chile boasts some of Latin America's most advanced ports, simply getting goods to those ports significantly increases both cost and time. Despite its harsh geography, Chile has not given up. Unable to change its mountains and oceans, it has chosen to adapt and use ingenuity to overcome its difficulties. The government has consistently worked to build roads, highways, and airports. A prime example is the Southern Highway, initiated in 1917 by the military leader Augusto Pinochet. His goal was not only to connect north and south, but also to prevent unrest caused by regional isolation. During construction, workers had to traverse dense forests, steep mountains, and raging rivers. Even 40 years later, some sections remain unfinished, and those that are completed must endure constant damage from floods and earthquakes. Chile has also invested heavily in high-speed internet and satellite communications. Today, over 90% of the population has internet access. In remote areas, drone deliveries, solar power, microgrids, and small airports help local communities stay connected to the outside world. Recognizing that it cannot solve every problem alone, Chile has actively sought cooperation with its neighbors, especially Argentina. Since traveling to the south through Chilean territory is so difficult, it has negotiated access routes through Argentina in southern regions like Magallanes and Tierra del Fuego. The two countries have also jointly built bridges, tunnels, and shipping routes to improve cross-border transit. Chile has also focused on high-tech industries and is now one of Latin America's most technologically advanced nations. In 2023, Santiago was ranked as a top startup hub in Latin America. At the same time, it has aggressively developed renewable energy, harnessing solar power from the northern desert and wind energy from the southern coast, turning its geographic constraints into energy advantages. Chile's story contains a simple yet profound lesson. No matter how difficult the situation, it is better to stop complaining about what cannot be changed and instead find a way forward within existing constraints. No country has a perfect fate. Every place has its strengths and weaknesses. What matters is not dwelling on what is lacking, but striving to make the best of what exists. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.